Hi everyone, welcome back. When I look at vertical lines and horizontal lines, people just don't get it. Over and over again, I watch students don't get it. If you try to use it in assessment and you use it in some other form, they still don't get it. So back to the same old thing I'm always talking about, I suppose, is trying to get people brainwashed. In other words, it's in your long-term memory and you know what it is. I want to have a look at it for a moment. I'm obsessed with keeping these videos as short as I can. If I said these points here, there's your x-axis and there's your y-axis. So if I said, let's say that point there, I'm going to pick anyone and I'll put a dot there. That means I've gone across to 2 on the x-axis and I've gone up to 1 on the y-axis. So I could write beside it that it's 2, 1. A little bit of terminology, that's called the coordinates. So when they say write the coordinates, you've got to write both numbers with a comma and actually technically with the brackets around as well. A lot of times you'll get away with just writing 2, 1, but you really should have the 2, the 1, the comma, and both lots of brackets. So if I put another dot there, then that becomes 2 for the x, and we go up to 2 for the y value. And of course I'm going to put another one there, and that one is I've gone to 2 for the x, I've gone to 3 for the y, so I'm up here at 3. Go another one, I'm up here at 2. Some of you got the message already, but I'm going to persist a little bit longer, hopefully not too long. If I go back down to here, that one there is what mucks up a lot of people's brains. So it's 2 on the x-axis and it's 0 on the y-axis. Now, what's happening is that x is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, but the y value went 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So the y's are always changing, but the x's are staying the same. So I laugh with it all because students get so mixed up on it. So if I put a line through there, and I drew a line through there vertically, by the way, normally with a line we'll put arrows on there. And so if you see arrows, it's not talking about parallel lines, it's about arrows to say it goes on in both directions. Would it be logical, I always want to torment you and say, would it be logical to call it y equals, what would you call it? So the obvious answer is it's called x equals 2. And by the way, for those who, if you still don't get it, the 2's all stay the same. And by the way, I went to 2 on the x-axis. So there's another logical, for some people, way of thinking about it. If it goes to 2 in the x-axis, it's got to be called x equals 2. Say it again. So it goes to the x-axis at 2, surely it's got to be called x equals 2. So if I drew another one over here, like say I drew that one there, and that's gone 1, 2, 3. So by the way, it's got to be called x equals 3. And I'm trying these grids, I'm trying different sizes. So if I went through here at -1, and for some of you this is enough, I should cut the video short and say that's enough. So there's 0 for the x-axis, there's -1. So it's called x equals -1, and really the whole thing is it just went to -1 on the x-axis. So another way of thinking, because I want to get into your long-term memory, I want you to remember it in a week, in a month, but in more than in a year and 2 years when you use this again in future topics, because it comes up all over the place. So the vertical lines are the x's. And I feel like doing anything I can to talk about the vertical lines are x equals. And do anything I can to get in your brain, the vertical lines are x equals, the vertical lines are x equals, the vertical lines. Now here's the stupid part. I don't really want to talk about the horizontal. And here's one of my teaching principles. There's 2 things to learn here. And if you learn 2 things that are related to each other, guess what people's brains do? They get mixed up. I learned it years ago in first year psychiatry when I was doing an optometry course. I think actually it was second year. And you learned if you had 2 things very similar, like a revolver, pistol, gun, and or even fruit or anything, it is very easy to get mixed up between them. So what am I doing? Verticals are x equals, they go to x equals 3. Verticals are x equals, it goes to -1, x. Verticals are x equals, it goes there. So I'll put one up ready. I always want to hesitate. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to go all the way up to 5. So if I put a horizontal line all the way through there and they go right off onto the board, and if your brain still didn't understand, I'm going to do it. Here we go. That's called 1, 5. That's called 2, 5. That's called 3, 5. I'm going too long. That's going, and I think of more and more the same. I'm trying not to say more. So, did the X's stay the same or did the Y's stay the same? So all the Y's were 5, so that's called Y equals 5. So hopefully it's really makes sense to your brain, you can understand it. And by the way, just past in case you see it in the future, you can see the intersection of that line, the intersection of X equals 3 and Y equals 5. There it is there, written right there is 3, 5, which is those two. And students just don't get intersection. So the intersection of those two is 3, 5. And if they say the coordinates in the section, you've got to write it not that way, but that way. Now, I must admit though, even when I ask people to do coordinates, if they wrote that down, I give them 4 marks. So there we go, traces a vertical, horizontal line. Feel like saying one last time. If they go to X is 3, they're called X equals 3. But oh, what's the trap though? If it goes through that way at 3, or that way at 3, or goes over to here at 3, this only applies to horizontal and vertical lines. If you're enjoying them, please just, most of all, just press like. If you haven't subscribed, just press like, and if you can go through lots of my videos, just press like. It's great, it helps, it just means that YouTube, the algorithm of YouTube will say, yay, we need to put this person up more often, and I get more views. Thank you.